In the twilight of a geopolitical chess game, the shadow of interference stretches long and dark. At the heart of this intricate dance of power is the recent tension between the United States and India, two nations whose symbiotic relationship holds significant sway over international balance. As allegations of political meddling bubble to the surface, the repercussions resonate far beyond their borders, challenging the sanctity of democratic processes and threatening to destabilize long-standing alliances. The complex weave of such political maneuvering between Washington and New Delhi provides not only a tale of intrigue, but a lesson in the ambiguous morality of international relations. It compels us to question, in an age where information is as weaponizable as artillery, what the rules of engagement should be in the subtle war of influence and interference. The relationship between India and the United States has been an evolving saga marked by periods of both warmth and wariness. Since India's independence in 1947, the two nations have navigated through the Cold War dynamics, nuclear policy debates, and the post-9/11 security imperatives. This historical backdrop is crucial to understanding the delicate nature of their present disputes. The iconic images of US presidents and Indian prime ministers, handshakes resonating with promised cooperations, often mask the undercurrents of tension that have occasionally surfaced. The recent allegations of interference are but a new chapter in this complex narrative. The significance of these historical ties, often characterized by a strategic partnership, impacts how both nations perceive and react to accusations and counter-accusations of meddling. Through economic highs and lows, military collaborations, and cultural exchanges, this alliance has been tested time and again, laying a mosaic of trust and suspicion. In 2023, murmurs of US interference in Indian elections escalated into vocal accusations. Reports suggested an intricate involvement ranging from digital espionage to funding opposition rallies, ostensibly to sway electoral outcomes favorably towards US-friendly candidates. The specific incident that ignited this flammable mix was a leaked communication, allegedly from a US diplomat, discussing strategic adjustments in India to secure more congenial trade agreements. This leak was dynamite, exploding in the echo chambers of news outlets and social media, causing uproar among the Indian populace and government alike. The authenticity of these communications is hotly debated, but their impact is undeniable. They have shaken the public's faith in free and fair elections and stirred nationalistic fervor among India's populace, complicating the diplomatic dance. The modern age has endowed nations with new arsenals, not of guns and missiles, but of data and algorithms. The United States, with its sophisticated cyber capabilities, is often at the forefront of this new battlefield. India, not to be underestimated, has responded with its cyber units, but the asymmetry is palpable. Allegations involve the use of cyber tools to infiltrate election commissions, manipulate social media algorithms, and even orchestrate media campaigns designed to discredit political figures. Amidst swirling virtual threats, the urgency for robust cyber defenses has never been more apparent. The skirmish in cyberspace, although silent, could have loud repercussions on electoral integrity and national sovereignty. Such tactics highlight the shift in how superpowers engage with each other, moving away from physical battlefields to digital arenas, where information is the currency and control over it is paramount to supremacy. The alleged interferences have sparked a fierce public and political reaction within India. From protests in the streets to heated debates in parliament, the issue has galvanized a broad spectrum of Indian society. Politically, it has fortified the resolve of India's leadership to safeguard national sovereignty. Calls for stringent cyber laws and electoral reforms are at an all-time high. On the streets, it has awakened a potent mix of nationalism and skepticism towards foreign entities, coloring public perception not only of the US, but of the very nature of global interactions. This atmosphere of distrust and defiance plays into the hands of those advocating for a more insular approach to international policy, potentially altering the trajectory of India's foreign relations. As political parties exploit this sentiment, the lines between genuine concern and opportunistic nationalism blur, complicating the narrative even further. The discourse within the United States regarding its involvement in foreign elections is polarized. Some defend it as a necessary tool of foreign policy to shape a world conducive to American interests, while others decry it as a hypocritical breach of democratic values. In the halls of Congress, this issue has generated a significant rift. Some lawmakers push for transparency and regulation of covert operations, while others argue for the strategic necessity of such actions. The public opinion is similarly split, with debates and discussions flooding media platforms, highlighting a nation at odds with itself over its global role and ethical standing. This divergence underscores a deeper identity crisis about America's place on the global stage, reflecting an ongoing internal dialogue about power, morality, and the limits of influence. The tension between India and the US is not an isolated phenomenon, but a reflection of shifting global dynamics. As nations become more intertwined yet simultaneously more protective of their autonomy, the fabric of international diplomacy evolves. The alleged meddling has ramifications for alliances and partnerships worldwide. It challenges the norms of international engagement, prompting calls for new frameworks that respect sovereignty while fostering cooperation. This development signals a potential pivot in how nations conduct foreign policy, emphasizing soft power and the need for a nuanced understanding of influence. These incidents prompt a re-evaluation of the strategies employed in diplomatic interactions and may catalyze a shift toward more transparent and mutually respectful international relations. At the heart of this controversy lie profound legal and ethical questions. What laws govern the actions of a state beyond its borders? How does one balance national interest with global ethical standards? Internationally, the UN Charter and various treaties attempt to define acceptable state behavior, but the digital age presents novel challenges that current laws struggle to address. Domestically, both the US and India grapple with creating legislation that can safeguard their electoral processes while respecting freedom of expression and privacy. This legal labyrinth reflects broader ethical dilemmas about the ends justifying the means and the moral responsibilities of powerful nations in shaping global politics. As law tries to catch up with rapidly advancing technology, these questions become increasingly crucial to address. Addressing these issues demands innovative and cooperative solutions. Improved cybersecurity measures, international treaties on cyber warfare, and transparent electoral practices could serve as starting points. Furthermore, establishing multinational forums that facilitate open dialogue about state behavior in cyberspace might help in forming consensus on norms and expectations. At the national level, public awareness and education about the implications of foreign interference are vital. As we navigate these troubled waters, the relationship between India and the US could set a precedent for how global powers redefine their interactions in a connected but conflicted world. The path forward is fraught with challenges, but also filled with opportunities for establishing a more principled and stable international order. This in-depth exploration of US-India tensions not only sheds light on the intricacies of political maneuvering, but also evaluates the broader implications for the future of international relations, making it a pivotal issue for global political discourse. In the twilight of a geopolitical chess game, the shadow of interference stretches long and dark. At the heart of this intricate dance of power is the recent tension between the United States and India, two nations whose symbiotic relationship holds significant sway over international balance. As allegations of political meddling bubble to the surface, the repercussions resonate far beyond their borders, challenging the sanctity of democratic processes and threatening to destabilize long-standing alliances. The complex weave of such political maneuvering between Washington and New Delhi provides not only a tale of intrigue, but a lesson in the ambiguous morality of international relations. It compels us to question, in an age where information is as weaponizable as artillery, what the rules of engagement should be in the subtle war of influence and interference. Subscribe, support, and stay tuned for more updates.